What's going on, guys? Rizaza here, your guide to anything psychological in anime and other series. And for this day, I am very excited for we will be delving deeper into the personality and behavior of the great character that is Hashibira Inosuke from Demon Slayer. A word of caution before we begin, you might encounter unwanted spoilers within the video, so click away to some other delving expedition if you want to avoid being spoiled. Now, without further ado, let us start delving. He'll challenge you. He'll challenge a tree. He will even challenge a train for God's sake just to prove that he is the strongest individual there is. This is basically the attitude of our topic for today, Hashibira Inosuke. This boar mask wearing, body bending, demon slaying, and name forgetting mad lad is absolutely one of my favorite characters within the Demon Slayer series. He is an extremely short-tempered young lad who constantly tries to challenge anything in his vicinity and one who always assumes that the people who is approaching him is going to attack him. Though these behaviors of his may seem to be irrational and a pain in the bum to interact with, there is actually a great explanation why Inosuke acts like so. As Inosuke was born in a family with an abusive father, his mother, Kotoha Hashibira, was forced to leave her husband for good as she desired to lead a better life for her son. The infant Inosuke, along with her mother, later on sought refuge to the Eternal Paradise cult, a religious cult that was unknowingly led by one of the Demon King Kibutsuji Muzan's upper moon demons, Doma. After having suspicions that their cult leader was killing and eating their faithful members, Kotoha tried to run away from the temple as she carried her son into a forest. They later on stumbled upon a cliff as they are being chased by the ruthless and apathetic Doma. Kotoha was forced to throw his son from the edge of the cliff into a river as a final resolve to save him from the bloodthirsty demon before she was ultimately killed by it. Miraculously, Inosuke was able to survive the fall. Since then, Inosuke was forced to live in the jungle alongside the wild boars that raised him. With him having so little human interaction and with those being perceived as a potential threat to himself, Inosuke grew up to be an individual who struggles to understand social norms and the emotions and intentions of those who are around him. As we try to examine the case of Inosuke's behavior objectively, there is a theory of personality that I believe that can give a pretty sound explanation on his actions. I am talking about Karen Horney's psychoanalytic social theory. Horney believed that each individual begins life with the potential for a healthy development, but like other organisms, people need favorable conditions for growth, conditions that Inosuke was not able to be in due to his tragic past. Furthermore, it is stated in the theory that in order for a child to have feelings of safety and satisfaction, they need to experience both genuine love and healthy discipline. If these conditions are not met, the child will later on develop feelings of basic hostility that gives rise to basic anxiety. To get our terms defined, basic hostility pertains to a sense of anger and betrayal that a child feels towards his parents for their failure to provide a secure environment. It is a concept that has been pictured well in the circumstances of Inosuke as an infant with her mother, Kotoha, wherein the irony of singing to her son songs of promises ended up breaking the promise of hers to provide a secure life for her only son. On the other hand, basic anxiety is defined as a feeling of being isolated and helpless in a world that is conceived as potentially hostile. I believe that basic anxiety manifests evidently in Inosuke as he always thinks that whoever may approach him is a threat that must be warded off. To explain more of Inosuke's actions to other people, we delve even deeper to explore Horney's concept of neurotic trends and neurotic needs. Neurotic trends refers to the general categories relating to a person's basic attitude towards self and others. Moving toward people, moving away from people, and moving against people are the three neurotic trends, each of which is associated with a number of neurotic needs that gives a deeper explanation to one's behavior. Out of the three aforementioned trends, I stand that Inosuke is within the trend of moving against people. Individuals that fall under this trend are usually aggressive and compulsive. As Inosuke frequently engages in combat with full recklessness and with his aggressiveness even to those who shows kindness to him, it is sound to say that he truly fits within this category. Associated with the trend wherein Inosuke is categorized in are 5 of the neurotic needs that are in Karen Horney's theory. The neurotic need for personal achievement and the neurotic need for perfection and unassailability are specifically the neurotic needs that can be seen in Inosuke's behavior. The aforementioned needs explains the motives behind the aggressive behavior of his. Inosuke's desire to have a sense of personal achievement is possibly the reason behind his actions of challenging other people and even objects around him, such as trees and even a train. He uses the defeat of his enemies as a confirmation of his own strength and superiority among others. Aside from his relentless pursuit of achievement, his desire for perfection of his capabilities and having a sense of unassailability seems to be the very cause of why he became so depressed after losing horribly to the father of the spider demon family. After that fight, he became so down compared to his usual noisy and challenging image. The neurotic trends and neurotic needs that we have discussed are not necessarily a bad thing for individuals since these have their positive counterparts. However, due to the heightened basic hostility and basic anxiety that sprung from the tragic childhood of Inosuke, these trends manifested its negative side that ultimately affected the way that our boy interacted with the other characters within the story. Hashibira Inosuke may seem to appear as a neurotic individual in this examination of ours, but his personality and development as a person along with his newfound friends is a great comic relief for the show. What I admire about the various characters in the Demon Slayer series is that be it that you are one of the protagonists or one of the villains, every character's backstory is well said to the point that you will truly sympathize with each of the individuals interacting along the course of this story. Today, you were able to get an overview of Karen Horney's psychoanalytic social theory while we are having this chat of ours about its implications to one of the most admirable characters within the show of Demon Slayer. I hope that you were able to enjoy learning and listening to my thoughts. As we end this delving expedition of ours, I would like to thank my very first subscribers within the channel and my supporters that are constantly curious about the underlying psychology in the series that we enjoy watching. Impart knowledge to a friend of yours by sharing this video. Leave a like and subscribe for more of this kind of content. Knowledge is bliss and it is a treat that you shouldn't miss. Stay safe and keep the curiosity alive.